I have been wondering myself though. Last year, we got 3 amazing racing games. We got Mario Kart World, we got Sonic Racing Crossworlds, and we got Kirby Air Riders. 3 amazing games that has been released over a month at this point in February of 2026. And both of these 3 games has been delivering some good stuff, with a little gap of bad stuff or bad decisions, but mostly these 3 games have delivered unique experience and a lot of fun to all the players, to all the veteran, new, and casual players. But which game is the best, or better say, which game do I recommend the most to those who cannot decide which to play first? So I came with a decision, with an idea. I made this table. Based on my experience, based on how much I have played these 3 games, I'm gonna put some points on these categories. Based on this file, we will see which category delivers the best between those 3 games. On gimmicks, new game modes, Grand Prix/race mode, customization of vehicles and outfits of the characters, offline content, online content, music, performance, and quality of life. In this, between 3 to 5 points. And see which game will I recommend the most to everybody. Now, keep in mind, this is based on my experience of playing these 3 games, based on my perspective. Even if it's my opinion and such, I do want to see about your opinions too. I want to see the experience of everyone, to see the unique experience of each one. So like this is gonna be based on my experience, but I want to see everybody else's experience, Now, let's start with this, shall we? So, the gimmicks in Mario Kart World. So the first gimmick is the drift jump. Now, instead of the drifting left to right, you have the accessibility to drift in one single direction. Once you get a little boost, you can jump, and then when hit on the ground, you will have a little boost. But also, you have another gimmick that is wall drive. After a drift jump, you can wall drive. You can go to the wall and do the wall drive though. And you can go back to do an air trick in there and back to the ground, or go to another wall on the other corner. Very cool stuff. These 2 gimmicks in particular gives you the accessibility to do a lot of stuff. Drift jump and wall drive gives you a lot of accessibility to manipulate the whole track and have some cool shortcuts, and that delivers a good tech of the game. It is pretty fun. Kind of hard to dominate. It is kind of hard to dominate. You have to remember pretty well how to use both of them to be able to make a good shortcut on it. And it takes time to remember and when to do it, but once you dominate, it's gonna be lots of fun. It is a pretty fun gimmick. Another gimmick that it has is the intermission tracks. We have seen the loop tracks and we have seen the plane tracks that goes to point A to point B. However, the intermission tracks has a little detail on it. So the plot of this intermission tracks is that the first 2 laps is going to be on road to your destination, and the last lap is where you arrive your destination, the Stadium B, and you will do a last lap or 2. I do like the idea of that. It delivers a little bit more dynamic of how alive the place is and how the obstacles works with the traffic and such. And I do not mind these intermission tracks. Several of them I do have lots of fun, but there are several of them that are kind of simple. Even some of them are like straight lines, literally. And the only obstacles is just some rocks or even obstacles like cars and such. So there is not a lot of fun challenge here and there though. And not everyone likes it though. That was even the first days of Mario Kart World that all of the players just wanted to choose random picks just to have a loop track, no matter what stadium is gonna choose. Just for the random selection is gonna go with the loop track, and then later the developers fixed this function of random and made things worse that players didn't like it. But I don't think it's because of the gimmick of intermission tracks. I think it's the kind of level designs and such. Either way, I do not mind a lot, again, of the intermission tracks. Several of them are very fun. Some of them are really, really simple, but still, this gimmick brings something unique to the video game. I have to admit, either I have seen several tracks, being intermission tracks, that I be like, why? So they're not perfect, but by the tech of the gimmicks of the drift jump and wall drive, they are super fun. So these gimmicks I will put 4 points. Now this one is more interesting in this video game. I do consider a lot Sonic Racing Crossworlds Spain as an arcade racing game, but this one has some interesting ideas that I do love. The first gimmick is the gadgets. You can have a loadout of gadgets. Each of the loadout has 6 spaces, and each gadget has between 1 to 3 spaces. These gadgets help you to go benefit on your vehicle or on your character class, to benefit how to get the rings, or it benefits your boost and such as that. It is really good. There are so many variations, so you can have different kind of perspectives on using different loadouts with different vehicles even. So that is really, really cool. And the second gimmick is the Crossworlds. Man, I love this gimmick the most. So, the plot of the Crossworlds is, as the lap 1 is ending, you will see on the road 2 options, a specific Crossworld and random. And whoever is in the first place will pick between these 2. And in the second lap, you will go to the Crossworlds, 1 full lap, and then on the third lap, you go back to the main track. That is pretty cool because there is so many Crossworlds variation. Even the Crossworlds includes on the main tracks, and also it has Frenzy, which is like an extra event that gives you like extra dash panels or extra items or faster drifts and such as that. It delivers something unique. And honestly, these 2 I would consider most as a strategic gimmicks. Mario Kart World has technical gimmicks, but in here in Sonic Racing Crossworlds is more of a strategic gimmicks, choosing pretty well of your character and its class, and choosing the gadgets, and then as you are playing, choosing these 2 options on the Crossworlds to see which one benefits you the most if you're in the first place. That is very clever, and I do love it a lot on these 2 gimmicks. Now, comparing to these 2 racing games, Kirby Riders only, I can highlight 1 gimmick, and that is the special move. Now, it doesn't deliver something unique on the special move. We have seen this before on other game genre, like Super Smash Bros. With the Final Smash and such. But the special move in this game, man, it does really make the difference. Not only on the race mode, but especially on city trials. Like, it delivers a lot of the special move, and every character has a unique special move based on the speed, based on the attack, and I do love it a lot. Also, I forgot to mention, you have a few seconds to use it or else it will reset the bar, because there is a gush bar for the special move, and once filled, it will just take like 10 seconds or 50 seconds before it ran out. So you have limited time to use it. And it's very clever. It does change the situation of the whole race or city trials. Well, on city trials, not a lot. On race, I think it does deliver a bit more difference in the gameplay overall. On city trials, maybe here and there can be some benefits on taking more advantage on eliminating someone or taking all the prizes and loots and such. And I do really like this uniqueness of the gimmick. It might be 1 gimmick, but it changed the gameplay quite a lot, and it brings more fun into it. Now let's go for the new game modes. Mario Kart World has 2 new game modes, and the first one is Knockout Tour. For me, the best game mode that Mario Kart has ever existed. It's so fun. I love it a lot. So the plot of this new game mode of Knockout Tour is there are 24 players, and at the end of each lap, the last 4 players in the match will get eliminated. And it will go so on until there is the last 4 players. And that on the last lap, whoever wins the first place wins the whole match. It is super challenging. There is something that I do not like about this, and it's the sandbagging. It's these kind of players who purposely go to the last place and grab the best items so they can attack to the other players and be qualified easily. Mostly for those who are expecting a lightning bolt, which, to be honest, whoever has the lightning bolt will of course wait for the end of a lot, you know. Well, overall, they are really good. This game mode is super fun, I love it a lot. The rally seat lacks a lot of tracks in general. I mean, there is enough of them, right? And it lasts quite a lot of time each match. But I wish there would be more tracks into the Knockout Tour. Once you have played a lot of time playing this mode, you get kind of it's the same one, or you already know the plot of each track, and it kind of tends to be a burnout as you play Knockout Tour. But still, this game mode is so much fun and it's lovely. Now, the other game mode that it has in Mario Kart World is something interesting, and that's the free roam. The free roam is basically the open world. You can do and go wherever you are as the map is available. You can go and travel around. You can go and find puzzle challenge, hidden blocks, and medallions that unlock stickers, which that is pretty cool. The stickers are actually pretty good looking. But the problem is, that's it. Like, there are a lot of puzzle challenges and hidden blocks and medallions and such, but there is nothing else to do in there. Maybe just to travel around and see how alive the world is, which that is amazing. I love how alive Mario Kart World is. If you go to free roam, or as you're waiting for the next match, you can see little by little the little details of how alive it can be. You can see the citizens go inside a bus or go out. You can see even the animations of the Toad walking in the bus to sit down or going away. You can see them going to the pipes. You can see them going to the vehicle and drive. There is a lot of stuff that you say, man, this place is so much alive. However, besides the puzzle challenge and medallions and hidden blocks, there is nothing else to do. You can see the NPCs and you can lock on outfits as you go to the food trucks and such, but you cannot challenge them. There is not like interaction between NPCs other than you hit them or you collide with them. But other than that, it's just, that's it. Like, there is not, like, comparing to Forza Horizon, for example, that there are like special race or there is a cop or something like that. And in this one doesn't have that. And sometimes it doesn't bring the joy of a Mario Kart game. Like, I get it. It's a place to do some puzzles and you can learn from those puzzles and such. But other than that, it doesn't look very attractive to the people because they want to race. They want some action. Like, they want stuff happening. But if you want to roam around and be chill and complete challenges and such, it can be a lot of fun. Overall, I will put a 4.5. Well, in this one, there is not a lot of stuff on the new games and such. I think the ones that I can highlight are the team racing game mode, that you can go and play several matches, but with an extra mode. Like, for example, tap booster or a dash panel booster or attack booster and such. Now, I do have to say, this type of arcade modes are so fun. And you can customize a lot of stuff in there. Like, you can disable them or enable them. You can go and make like 3v3 or 4v4 or 2v2 on the teams. It can be lots of fun in there. It is really good. Maybe there is not a lot of stuff happening we have seen before on other games, but it can be really fun if you do not like or are not interested to play on a single world match or play in Grand Prix. It can be really good playing all of these arcade game modes that you can see. And even some of them are the festival matches. Whenever there is a festival online, you can also play those. Maybe it's not for everybody, to be honest, but it can bring really good stuff in these game modes in general. Overall, it's not a big impact in my opinion having this new game mode. In the fact that you can make this extra stuff, tap booster or rings booster and such, not everybody likes it. And I think because of the last game, Team Racing game, maybe that brought a bitter taste to it. I do like it, not a big fan to be honest, I prefer the normal ones, but it's good to see that it's there. But I wish there would be more stuff going in the Sonic Racing Crossworlds as new game modes, you know? There is a particular game out here, and that is the road trip. This is like considered campaign mode. You go and do challenges and take decisions which one you want to challenge to have that specific reward, and you go to a path in a specific based on your decisions, only to end up to the final boss. And it looks fun, it is interesting, and I have played several times. There is some issues that I have with this, and it's of how you start in this game. You start literally 0 points of each perk, you know, the speed, the boost, the offensive, defensive, HP and such. You start without anything. And the worst case is you go super slow. You go super slow with the warp star, and oh my god. The first time I played this, it desperate me. It really desperate me. I was like, man, I want more speed. I'd rather play like more city trials than this. Like, man, I am not having fun with this. I am going super slow. I wish it could be more faster. I wish it could have like a little bit more points of the basic stuff of speed and boost, so it can feel more smoothly and more faster. Now, eventually, as you progress in the game, you will have new stuff. You will have new, more stuff in the perks. You can change your vehicle, your star, and such as that. And honestly, the cutscenes, they are really well made. I love the cutscenes too. And the challenges are very good. The challenges is like almost the same on the racing or top ride or even the minigame modes that you see in the stadium mode. It can be a lot of fun. Although honestly, I'm not a very fan of it. It can be really fun as you progress a lot of the game. I believe the half of the game, of the whole campaign game, is gonna be lots of fun, but at the start, it is very slow. And sometimes it desperates me that I will want and rather go play other games or other game modes like race game or freaking city trials, you know. Still, it brings a lot of fun on these little challenges as you progress though. Now, Grand Prix race mode. Now, here's the thing. I put race mode because Kirby Riders doesn't have Grand Prix on offline. Recently at this point, the developers of Kirby Riders put Grand Prix, but only on paddock, or only on online lobbies, which that's a weird decision, but that's on them though. So yeah, I had to put it there because I want to include also the race mode, which is particularly Grand Prix in Kirby Riders. But let's go. Ooh, what can I say? The Grand Prix of Mario Kart World, dude. Man, so here's the thing. Each cup has a challenger. Let's say Donkey Kong, for example, in the first cup. And this challenger or rival, it will be your main rival that is gonna go as the strongest racer, you know? So the plot is this. The first race out of 4 is totally normal. A loop track, the stadium looks very fun, it looks gorgeous and such. All good. Then in the second race, there is the intermission tracks. And at first it's like, okay, it looks interesting, I like it. And then the third race and even fourth race is the same thing. There is none other loop track than the first race. And that's it. The rest of them is just intermission tracks. And they will say, well, I say that I wouldn't mind. But here's the thing, in Grand Prix, there is a specific amount of tracks. And they are not that fun, to be honest. And given the fact that it's only one loop track and the rest of the intermission tracks, the main issue on this delivers on the plot of the intermission tracks. The first 2 laps is on the road as you go to your destination, and the last lap is the destination itself, the stadium. And as you go, you're like, oh man, I'm excited to play this map. Man, it looks gorgeous. And then after the last lap, that's it. And sometimes it lasts like 30 seconds or less than a minute, and I'm like, wait, that's it? Brother, I didn't enjoy the track at all. Even the music, I didn't enjoy it. Like, what's going on here? Now, here's the thing. There are some tracks that I do enjoy in this game. Like the Donkey Kong one, and especially the Rainbow Road, that for me is the best Rainbow Road. But honestly, of how Grand Prix works here, being just one loop track in the first race and the rest of them being intermission tracks, just ruins the experience overall. And I do not like it at all. I didn't like it. Like, yeah, the first Cops, I did like it because it was really cool experiencing this new gimmick of the intermission tracks. But then as you progress on the third or fourth Cop, you are like, okay, this is getting weird, man. Are these all intermission tracks in the second to fourth race? Like, what's going on? I really do not like Grand Prix in Mario Kart World. I will say differently on the race mode, but we are talking about this mainly the Grand Prix. So I am sorry. Now, Sonic Racing Crossworlds, the Grand Prix, is a bit different. I do like it. They're all loop tracks. Of course, it has Crossworlds on the second lap, which I do not consider any type of plane track or intermission tracks because you're just crossing the world and go back to the main track. However, there is one issue that I have with this. Being the last race on a cup in Grand Prix, instead of a new track, it's just the first 3 tracks that you have already played, but just each of one is a lap. So lap 1 is the first track, lap 2 is the second track, and lap 3 is the third track. And that's it! There is no new track in the fourth race of each cup. It's just a recopilation of it. And I'm like, brother, you have many tracks from previous games, many tracks from the Crossworlds, and you decide to make this recopilation. I do not want to play these 3 tracks again. I want to play a new one, and especially as the last race. But overall, I do like this system. This system also has a rivalry, but the rival, you can modify which rival is gonna be, and also the difficulty. And man, the difficulties can be hard on this one. It can be kind of hard in this one. Overall, on this main issue on the last race on each cup, I do like the system of the Grand Prix in Sonic Racing Crossworlds, so I'm gonna give it a 4. Now, Kirby Riders doesn't particularly has Grand Prix, except right now where Paddock, in an online lobby, you can make a Grand Prix. We will talk a little bit about that later. But the main thing is the air ride, the race mode. This one has several tracks, and also it has all of the classic tracks from the first game on GameCube. That is pretty cool. Now here's something very interesting. This game on race mode, it has 6 players. I am surprised. And I was like, okay, maybe it's because of the size of the tracks in general. Alright. But there is a little issue that I have with these tracks. that it doesn't feel like 6 players on the tracks. It feels way too wide. And there is several times that there are no much interaction between players that are attacking or using their special move to have an advantage or go and pass and attack to another player. There is not a lot of interaction. Now on classic track, they're super fun. It is perfectly fine with the 6 players. But I do believe it is not made for 6 players in their right. It feels more as an 8 players. But another thing is, I personally do not like the amount of laps. There is one track having 3 laps. A lot of them are 2 laps, and there is one particular track that is just 1 lap because it's too big. It's too long. And there are times where I wish the rest of the tracks will have also 3 laps, or at least the longest track will have 2 laps. In order of enjoying the track, in order to remember the track and such as that. Now, I understand why they did this, because the duration of each track can be fair on 2 laps or even 1 lap, but I wish there would be more. Overall on that, in the Grand Prix on Paddock is something really interesting. It is either way 6 players, yes, but it has the default amount of laps each of maps, or you can customize only 1 lap. But there is another thing that I noticed, and there is a second option of the Grand Prix. Instead of laps, you can add time. And time, depending on the duration, I tried once with 3 minutes, and is basically a time. Basically, when the time runs out, whoever is in the first place wins. There is no goal. Like once it stops, everybody stops. And that is really interesting. It can be fun when a lot of things are going on in the tracks and such, but it doesn't feel that much of a Grand Prix, to be honest. I wish in this race mode it will have also time. It looks pretty fun on the time option in the race modes, but they decided to put only on Grand Prix. And also it's pretty weird that in Grand Prix it's only on online in Paddock instead of offline. It will work perfectly fine. It will make things interesting, you know? Like a little option extra instead of just going for the next match with selecting a different track and such. But yeah, it is kind of different. But I do not feel like it's really perfect. Based on the laps, I do not like it a lot. And the design of the levels being too wide for 6 players, sometimes it doesn't feel like it's made for 6 players on A right. It will feel better on 8 players. So I'm also gonna go with 4. So let's see here in Mario Kart World. Now we're not gonna talk about the cars because these cars are not like customization comparing to Mario Kart 8. Now this is like a specific car and that's it. Now on the characters customization, dude, there's a lot of good stuff, but some of them just have one skin, one outfit, or 2 outfits, or 3 outfits. Some of them have just very little options of outfits. Some of them, focusing on the main protagonist characters like Mario, Yoshi and such, they have like 10 outfits, and each of them looks amazing. But there are several of them that it has only 6 outfits, or it has only 1 outfit, dude. Donkey Kong, Pauline, and Bowser are the main examples, having between 1 to 2 or 3 outfits. And it's like, bro, why? Like, you had so many outfits in Mario Kart Tour, the mobile game, and you are giving me this amount of outfits on several characters. It felt like they didn't have enough time to put new outfits and it just went rush. It was so weird looking this, saying Donkey Kong with only 1 outfit, or Pauline or Bowser having few outfits. There are several of them that I wish they could have 10 outfits too. That is really, really weird. But overall, I do like the outfits in general. I love the design of each of the outfits. They are very clever. And also, each of these outfits has a specific air trick. And I love that. But still, there is a big lack of outfits on some characters. I wish they will be added in the future as free content, no paid DLC BS. Now this is something different. On the characters, it has one specific outfit, and that is the AI outfit. This ones you unlock based on how many times you play on the arcade game mode, the ones that it has stab boost or ring boost and such as that. Each one has like a rival team that you have to fight, and if you win like 3 times, you will unlock a card and you will unlock the AI skins of the team. And that is pretty cool. I am not a fan of the voices. I am not a fan of the sound voices that the AI makes. They can be really annoying. But I wish there could be more outfits of the characters, man. They are missing the opportunity of adding metal versions of these characters. Like, yeah, Metal Sonic is in there, but I wish you could have, I don't know, some of the characters having a retro outfit like in Sonic Adventure or Sonic Adventure 2 outfit. I wish you could have like any specific outfit, like metal version of the characters. Or, I don't know, some outfits that you can see a reference from Sonic Rumble, for example. Sonic Rumble has a lot of outfits. You're not adding them on Sonic Racing Crossworlds, it feels weird. But I understand their decision because the main customization is on the vehicles. And man, in the cars or trucks, you can customize the wheels, the front and back of it. You can customize the hoverboard on the front and back, and it's pretty cool. Like, there are several variations of it that it has a specific stats. There is a variation of colors, so you can customize yourself. That is pretty cool, and also adding stickers and outlines. Now, there is an issue that I do not like a lot of this, and it's that if a sticker collides, it will not make it. And I think there will be a big opportunity of colliding stickers of the spaces. I could benefit a lot of the creativity of several people, you know? But it's understandable. It's understandable to put in collide, to put in a limit of adding a sticker very nearby another sticker, you know? Still, I wish the characters will have a specific one. There are other games on the Sonic games that it has a specific character outfits like Sonic Rumble, but I love the customization of the vehicles here. It is pretty cool. Now, in the customization here in Kirby. Oh my god. This one, you can customize adding stickers, adding lines and such, and you can collide with them. I love it. There is a lot of players that has amazing creativity, from popular characters on series or movies, or doing their own stuff. Like, for example, me, I create on a Warp Star my face, and it's so good to see. And you can add some props like tails wagging or wings or something like that. It is so good to see, like adding the auras, adding such other stuff in there, and the colors. Like, there's a lot to customize here and there that it's incredible. Now, the outfits customization, there is some of them that just only have one alternative skin. Some of them has like 4 outfits, but they're really nice. I feel like almost the same thing on the Sonic Racing Crossworlds. Like, maybe the characters just have a lot of the outfits, but this one particularly, I do not see any issues. Maybe because the characters on the outfits doesn't seem to affect a lot because it's just color skins. Well, except Meta Knight. Meta Knight has like different versions of Meta Knight, but I don't think it affects a lot of it. But geez, the vehicles is just gorgeous on the customization. There's a lot of stuff that you can do. In Mario Kart World, honestly, it has good stuff on the content. It has several characters, even NPCs. You can play a freaking cow in there. You can play a freaking cow in a bike. It's so good. But also on the characters and cars, there is a lot of tracks. Yes, most of them are just intermissions versions of each stadium, but geez, there is a lot of content in there. And also the free roam, the time trials, knockout tour, and battle mode. The music that I'm going to talk about later, but mostly the content, the game modes that it has, and the characters and its outfits, they are really good, as well as the vehicles. Honestly, of offline content, you will have lots of fun playing solo or friends in playing racing game or battle mode or knockout tour. It's so good. Or just chilling around in free roam. It's really good, the content it has in Mario Kart World. In Sonic Racing Crossworlds, you can see the Sonic character franchise. You have several vehicles. The tracks are very good, as well as the Crossworlds. There is some stuff in the jukebox and the time trials that you can do. And you can unlock a lot of stuff, by the way. You can unlock music and cars and outfits in there. And honestly, the arcade game mode, it can be enough to have some fun with it. Basically, if you don't have like enough fun on the Grand Prix, but overall, I wish they could have more than that. I wish sometimes I could have more tracks to it. Classic tracks, for example. But also something that will be similar to Knockout Tour. I mean, we're talking about an arcade racing game-ish. If it will have a Knockout Tour version of Sonic Racing Crossroads, man, it will be fantastic there. It will be fantastic. It will be so much fun being a Battle Royale racing game where it's up to you to be qualified on the placements before the end of each lap. Overall, it has enough. It has the basic stuff on the offline content, but I wish there could be a little bit more vehicles, a little bit more of the stickers. The characters I do not mind, honestly, but the tracks mostly, I think it will deliver better on a new track and a game mode that it could make people entertain a lot. On Kirby Air Riders, oh, you have a lot of stuff, man. You have Air Ride main race mode. You have Top Ride, that is a race mode but on top view. You have City Trials with its mini games, and you have the road trip. There is a lot of stuff even on the time trials. And you can have lots of fun with only CPUs in there, and it's really good. It's so complete, man. This is like the definitive edition of Kirby Air Ride from GameCube. It has a lot of stuff. You only have Kirby characters, but you have a lot of characters from Kirby franchise. You have more machines or vehicles. There's new race tracks, and the City Trials is just so much better and so much fun, man. It's so complete that you have in offline content. Now, Mario Kart World in online content. Oh, it has this basic stuff. You have race mode that is really fun. You have knockout tour that it's a lot of fun. Battle mode, which I do not mind a lot of the battle mode. Since Nintendo Wii hasn't been like the same thing in my opinion. But besides of that, you can have your own room create. And at this point today on February 2026, you can play public matches with other 4, creating a room. And if you have yourself with 3 other people, you can go to the start game. You can go to the section of public matches, either race mode or either knockout tour, or I think battle mode is in there too, but you can go and play over there. So it's pretty cool on that. Overall, there is one little issue that I have, and it's the event mode, the tournament mode. I think that lacks a lot of the interaction on the online content. And matter of fact, also some characters here and there. I do not mind a lot of the characters, to be honest. Like, I know Mario Kart 8 had a lot of characters. It had like other characters like Diddy Kong, the Koopa Links, Link, or the villagers and such. I think they say that they are not planning to do like characters that are not on Super Mario Bros. Universe. But I think the online content, it is enough fun. Again, it does lack a lot on some characters, but honestly, I do not mind. But other players will mind having a Diddy Kong or having the Koopa Links and just enjoying there. Another thing is the tournament event mode. There is an event mode, but apparently it's a regional Nintendo official event, and not everybody can join. So that stinks, to be honest. Overall, it is really good. Some little stuff that it lacks in online content, but based on the experience and such, it is lots of fun playing online, and the content that it has, it is enough to have hours and hours of fun in there. In Sonic Racing Crossworlds, wow. Dude, the online content, you'll have lots of stuff. You have the world match that it has a ranking system. You have a team match that is basically a private lobby with your friends. And besides of that, the online content on the characters, dude. There is two type of season pass you can have there. The free pass that are only Sega related characters. We have seen Hatsune Miku, we have seen Joker from Persona 5, Ai from Super Monkey Ball, and such other characters around. And in a special guest on the premium pass, you can have literally a special guest out of nowhere. Like we have seen SpongeBob and Patrick. We have seen Minecraft characters like Steve, Alex, and such. Like, it's amazing. And still, there is the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, Mega Man, Pac-Man, and Avatar, and maybe some others too. That at the end of season 1, maybe there's gonna be a season 2 with more characters. You can have a lot of stuff. And also, each release of a new character, either a premium pass or a free pass, you will have a weekend full of festival pass, which the festival event has relation of the character released. And in this one, you have a festival pass that you can unlock, like horn, that you can unlock stickers and more to dump tickets. And also, you can play with arcade modes, like Tap Boost being the main game mode, and other two like Dash Panel and such. Each festival has its unique game modes, but the main one is the Tap mode, the Tap Boost mode, and the two others is depending of the decision of the developers. But there is a lot of content that you have in Sonic Racing Crossworlds, dude. There is several stuff that you can do in Kirby Riders. There is a special event you will have on a full year after the release of Kirby Riders. After that year, it will stop giving updates of new content and such. Each of the game modes has some rank and rank system, which that is pretty cool for casual players or competitive players, especially on race mode, and maybe on city trials too. There's some little stuff here and there that I wish it will be added or removed, like the vote system. I think the vote system on city trials, it can be like a little bit meh in my opinion. But other than that, I wish the content of this game will last longer on online. I wish that after the year, instead of stopping the updates and future contents, there will be like at least another half year. Like, this game could promise a lot, but at the same time, I understand why the developers decide to just be a full year. Technically, everything is in there. There is enough content on the hats and stickers and such, but I wish there will be more. Now, on the music, dude, wow, dude. I have to say, all of them are a 5 for me, man. I love the music in here. Now, Mario Kart World especially, but also I do like Sonic Racing Crossworlds and Kirby Air Riders. Mario Kart World being around 200 songs. 200 songs available in this game from previous Mario Kart music, from Super Mario franchise, from Donkey Kong, Yoshi. Heck, even Mario Paint and Mario Flip Note is in there, dude. And they are all bangers. I love it a lot. And as well as Sonic Racing Crossworlds. The music of Sonic Racing Crossworlds, it feels much of an arcade feeling. Kirby Riders has a lot of good music. It has the retro music that I think, the classic music that it has on Kirby Riders, I think it got like a little improvement on the music. I think it got remade. These three games has amazing music, and the music in these racing games are very important to entertain you as you're racing by, you know? Now, on Mario Kart World is gorgeous. Not only I like the art direction, but I like how smooth it looks. The fact that visually on the background it looks really cool, the water too, the characters, and it runs perfectly fine overall without any situation that there is a lot of stuff happening here and there with explosions or such as that. Now, I do not think there is like any issues of something that it will frame drop as you go. It is totally perfect and it is totally beautiful. It is really, really cool on the performance that Mario Kart World has. In Sonic Racing Crossworlds, now here's the thing. It runs perfectly fine. 60 frames as well as other games, but there is a little thing that I dislike on Sonic Racing Crossworlds, and it's the background. For example, the Chaos running between 15 to 10 frames per second, or being 2D, or this background 3D characters waving at you and such, looking a bit weird but also running like 24 frames or less. Looks kind of weird. Even some props like the jets from Mel Harbor runs terrible. And I see what they did, like they focus on running smoothly on what you're focusing on the road. But off-road, being the background characters and props and the view, they are like very, very low budget. Not kidding, the SpongeBob saying those fishes on the background is like, what the heck is going on here? They look awful. It just hurts me to see the Chaos being so low quality and also running so low though. Like the frame drops is big on these characters, not because of the lack of the performance as you run the game, but they did it on purpose so the game can run smoothly 60 frames. So geez, I hated that. I really hate that decision of them. Like, I understand why they did this. This was my Unreal Engine 5, and based on the experience and what we have seen on other games that was my Unreal Engine 5, it has been a struggle for the developers to do. And this one is one of the first games that runs smoothly. But that is because they limit the performance on the background, except of what you are focusing on road. So that's pretty clever. But I cannot forgive that. It looks noticeable by a lot. Now, Kirby Air Riders, it is another good stuff on Kirby Air Riders. I do love a lot of the Kirby Air Riders and the performance. Everything looks beautiful. It runs also very smoothly. It is very, very gorgeous on all the background that you see on the tracks. It is really, really cool. I do love the art direction. I do love the performance as you are running and there is a lot of stuff happening. It is pretty cool though. Now, one of the most important things in the game industry, and that is the quality of life. The quality of life based on the experience. Based on the experience as you play, based on the accessibility of the game, based on the level designs of the tracks. It is very important on this, on the quality of life. So let's start with the quality of life of Mario Kart World. So Mario Kart World, it feels perfectly good. The gameplay, I do love it. The gimmicks, I do like it a lot. It is really nice how it plays. Like, there's a lot of fun, but overall, geez, I do not like several intermission tracks. It feels that you are just going on a straight line. There is not a curve, there is not a different unique obstacle. There is not a lot of creativity in several of the intermission tracks. It feels a void. It feels that it lacks something. And several of them, the only obstacles that you see is the traffic, and that's it. And the other issue is, on several tracks, the only good shortcuts that you will see and apply are those off-road, that you just have a golden mushroom and just apply that and spam as you go off-road to take that, instead of taking that longer curve, you just go straight line to the off-road until you go to the main road, you know? Several of them lacks a lot of obstacles or creativities that makes Mario Kart magical. It is one of the reasons why we have seen, for example, Koopa Beach being remade on the intermission tracks. Back then, the intermission tracks on the Koopa Beach was really weird design. Some of them almost like a straight line at the 80% of the tracks. And then recently they updated and remade these designs and also added an extra lap as you go and arrive the Koopa Beach. Instead of one lap, you can now have 2 laps. And that is so good because Koopa Beach is very short track. You can finish it very fast. And I wish I could see more of this in the future for several other tracks. Now, not all of the tracks are bad. There are several tracks that are very good as an intermission tracks. I do love it a lot. The loop tracks are beautiful here in the stadium. The online works just fine in my opinion. The stabilization of the game is pretty interesting because Bullet Bill was nerfed. And I was like, okay, that is weird, but considering that it's 24 players and the main obstacles are the traffics, you will see why they nerfed that. Now, let's talk about something that is auto acceleration. The auto acceleration, even if a lot of people doesn't use it, it is very important for the experience for several players who has issues on playing on a controller. So, I don't have that main experience on this type of issues, but a friend of mine, Red Flash Drive, helped me to have a different perspective of these accessibilities of auto accelerations of each of the games. So, apparently auto accelerations in a resume, it works perfectly fine in Mario Kart World. Sometimes it tends to be weird on the brakes as you try to stop, because sometimes it seems that it stops completely. Like the auto acceleration algorithm makes you like, instead of stopping a little by little, sometimes it just frequently stop completely. And then you go and start again as you accelerate again on by pressing A. But overall, it feels just fine for the players who has issues on the hands that you play on a controller. That is perfectly fine of an auto acceleration game. Other than that, there is one little thing that I'm concerned about this game, and that is the experience of the casual players. Now, remember when I say how fun these gimmicks are? The drift jump and wall jump, they are so good. But this is hard to dominate. This is hard to apply perfectly to these type of shortcuts that are hard to go. And some veteran players can do pretty easily and has a lot of advantage, but there are several players who cannot dominate very well or who are not interested to do that. And they just go as normally. And that ruins in a way of the experience of a new player or a casual player. Everybody aims to win. But if somebody is trying to do these air tricks and drift jumps and wall drives and apply these type of shortcuts that you and boosts that you can have to benefit your race, it kind of feel unfair. Like, it's not anybody's fault, because it's depending on the player as they do research of when to apply it and where. But it feels kind of unfair for the casual players who doesn't do that, and I just see them like on the top 20 or the top 15 and below, and it's like, man, I wish they could have like better benefits or stabilize on this situation. It doesn't affect a lot because there is this help by the items that I do love. There is this issue of the sandbagging people that just purposely go to the last place. The player just purposely go to the last place and be like, yeah, I'm gonna grab these better items. It kind of brings the experience of fun in a way, especially when you are like 8,500 points to 9,000 points. Still, it does help with the stabilization of the game, and it seems that developers are trying their best to avoid and stop the sandbaggers here and there. Overall, in the quality of life of the game, I feel like this game, it's really, really good. The type of situations that I see on the experience can be affected a little bit, and I cannot give a 5 because the experience of playing online is very important and to have lots of fun. And I'm not aiming to those two type of players of veteran players doing these tricks on shortcuts, or these veteran players who only select the character and vehicle as the meta. But the sandbagging mostly, both race mode and knockout tour, is something that I wish it could stop existing. So I will just put a 4.5. I don't have to say, Sonic Racing Crossworlds is so much fun. The speed is the fastest racing game comparing to these 3 racing games though. I love the characters, I love the worlds, the tracks, the music is cool too. The performance is just, once you notice the performance issues in the background, it's hard to notice. But there is one particular issue that I have with this game, and that is the items. The item system is really gross. Here's the thing. If you go to the last place, you will usually get good items, you know? For example, a monster truck or a drill whisper. That drill whisper is like the bullet bill. And instead of that, if you're on the last place, and especially if you're in the last lap, instead of having those, you get only whisper boost, as if it is a mushroom, but whisper boost. And it's like, brother, this is the last lap. I'm on halfway to the end of the last lap, and you're giving me this 3, which, by the way, the whisper boost doesn't work exactly as the mushrooms. It doesn't speed you a lot. This, mostly the whisper boost, helps you on the acceleration and helps you to go off-road without any problems on slowing down. And that's it. It doesn't work to go with a super boost and be faster for a period of seconds. And that is the biggest issue. And if that doesn't work, you have 50% that you will get a very good item, or else you will get a good item and another 3 whisper boost, or the same thing of 3 whisper boost and a whisper boost. And it's just like, nah, there ain't no way. Also, there is another issue that I have. The desync. Here's the thing. It has happened several times where we are at the end of the last lap, and there are several times that it seems like I am actually on this 3rd place. But then as the scoreboard goes, it just shows that I'm on between 2nd or 1st place, and I'm like, on my screen says something else. What? Like, there is a big desync. It is kind of weird. Also, there is another issue that I have in this, and is the physics. In Mario Kart World, comparing to that, you can feel the weight as the car splashes to the water. You can feel the rocks, you can feel the ground that slows you off-road. There is a lot of little details here and there, and going to water, it feels so good. But in Sonic Racing Crossworlds, jeez, it's so weird. There is no extra animation to tell that you're on water, and also you do not feel at all that you're on water. It feels like you're on ice. And yeah, I get it. It's an arcade racing game. It should not have this kind of physics compared to Mario Kart World. But there is not even an extra animation of surfing, for example, that tells me, oh, I am on water. And that is a big issue that I have with these games, with these tracks that has water. It is really annoying when you're on water. It feels so bad. Now, about to the auto acceleration, there is something very interesting. In the world match or the world race, it doesn't work at all, the auto acceleration. It doesn't work at all. But when we talk about the festival event or team matches with your friends, that it has these extra game modes like tap boost and such, those it work perfectly fine. I have a theory about that, and that is they purposely disable auto acceleration on World Match because World Match has a ranking system, and that is completely fair. But Mario Kart World has auto acceleration, and it also has a ranking system based on points, and it feels very unfair, and especially to those people who has issues on playing on a controller with their hands because they have hand issues or wrist issues. It is very unfair to see that only World Match it is disabled, where festival events and the team match it has enabled. There is another thing that I find Sonic Racing Crossworlds, and is that not a lot of people likes the arcade game modes on festival events or in general. They prefer just the traditional race mode. And I think because of the bitter taste that they had on the last game, and that is completely fair. I also do not like a lot of this type of game modes. Tap boost, it's honestly one of the things that I sometimes get desperate of, because you have to tap your ally, and sometimes it feels that it's just not that fair comparing to the type of vehicles that you have. Like for me, who plays a hoverboard that is a boost vehicle, sometimes I do not feel that I will reach my partners to tap. And also, this type of game modes on ring mode and such, it can be really repetitive, and especially on festival events, because there's just only 3 tap boost being forever modes that's gonna be there forever in all the festival events, and not all of them I am a fan of. I prefer something different. I prefer having more, like tap boost and 4 more game modes or 3 more game modes, than just tap boost and 2 more game modes. Other than that, the game, it just feels enough. There is a lot that it lacks on the quality of life of Sonic Racing Crossworlds. Maybe the online content is really good. Maybe the gimmicks are really good. But from all that I have talked about this, and especially about the performance, especially about the lack of acceleration of these type of players, especially about the issues that I have with the festival events and such as that, I feel that this game needs several fixes, or needs to patch up though. Like a game with a desync is just not that good, and a game without any good item balancing, it ruins a lot of the experience. Yeah, the speed is so good, the gimmicks are so good, the online content that you will receive is so good, yet the experience of playing it is just not that enough, man. And I hate to see that. The things that I hate the most about this game is the performance, the way of the gameplay as you go on water, for example, the items balancing, and several times that I see on the desync, and the festival mode being on tap modes and such as that, being quite repetitive at some point. This game is so good and fun, but sadly the quality of life, I do see that it lacks several stuff that it can perform perfectly in this game. I think the only things that leaves me off on quality of life is the gimmicks and the online content. I think a 4 will be good. Now lastly is Kirby Air Riders. I do love a lot of the customization. There is a lot of creativity. The gimmicks, well, the gimmick, it is really cool. The content that it has is just perfectly fine. I wish there would be more outfits or skins of all of the characters. Some of them just have one or two, but it's fair on the characters. At least the vehicles is what it highlights the most. There is few things that I want to talk about the quality of life of this game. And one of the main things that I want to start about this game is the tracks of the air ride mode, of the race mode. You can play up to 6 players on the air ride, on the race mode. However, it doesn't feel like it's made for 6 players. The new tracks looks beautiful. I love the level design, I love how gorgeous it looks. But jeez man, it's so wide that it's so boring just racing in all these new tracks. There is not a lot of interaction on the whole time. Here's the funny thing, on the classic tracks, there is a lot of fun in those classic tracks from the GameCube. Holy moly dude, those are perfectly fine 6 players racing tracks dude. Holy moly, there is always stuff, there is several action moments, these special moves feels just fine applying in this type of situation on the classic tracks. It just feels so good, and on the new tracks, it's the opposite of it. Most of the time, it's just you just going around without any issues. Maybe there is one player who is contesting on the first place, but other than that, there is not a lot of action or interaction with several players. It's just too wide. Another funny thing that I have with this is that in minigame mode, on stadium mode, you can play 1 lap on these tracks up to 8 players. You can play 8 players on these tracks and you made 6 players on air ride and 4 players on top ride, which you can max up to 8 players, but I think the last 4 is just CPUs. It's so random on these decisions and the options of these game modes. There is one specific thing that I hate. I hate that it included here in Kirby Air Riders. And it just ruins completely the fun of city trials. And that is the vote system as you are voting the minigame. After you finish the city trials, you will select one of the 4 minigames that is gonna be there. And it's a vote system. You're like, okay, yeah, sure. But the vote system, it feels totally nonsense. Because it's not a vote system. It's select the minigame that you want to play. The vote system in here is not the ones who select the most, everybody's gonna play there, or depending on the game that it will just roll out around each character, it will be selected like Mario Kart. No, this one is, you select this game, okay, you will go and play in there. And the worst part is, there will be several times or several occasions where you select a game and you will not have full 8 players or 4 players or 6 players. There will be times you will just find 3 players in total, including yourself, or in the worst case in the scenario, where you will be the only one player in that minigame mode. And you know what's the worst part? You win either way. You win because you vote to play this minigame and win automatically. And it's your decision if you want to play with the CPUs or just move on and go and find the next match. It's ridiculous, the vote system. I wish that will have never exist in this game, because it just ruins the magic though. You are preparing yourself and you're receiving these hints that maybe it's true or fake, but the magic of it is to be ready for whatever the minigame is gonna be. And yeah, maybe some of them is gonna be like disadvantage of this minigame and such, but that is the magic of it. That is the true magic of it. Like, it's being random and it will be anybody wins depending on the situation, on the stats, vehicle, and the minigame. It was the magic of it, and you run it to make this vote system being more as a select the minigame you want to play. It is ridiculously bad and ruins completely the fun of the city trials. And also the road trip, it's okay. It starts very slow, but as you go, it can be very fun. There is not too much to talk about that section. There is definitely some challenge here and there, so that brings the fun on the road trip as the new game mode. Yeah, to acceleration, we cannot say anything bad about it because basically the gameplay of the Kirby ride is just runs automatically though. There is no other button that brake or charging the boost or using your attack or using your special move. That's only the ones though. There is another little issue that I have, and that is the paddock, the game lobby. There is nothing wrong of how it works. You can play around, and as someone creates a match, either city trials or racing game or top ride, either of those. There is one big issue that I have about this, and it's that there is no spectator mode. There is like a big screen in the paddock in the lobby, and that is just generated video of highlights, gameplay here and there. But why is there not an option to spectate from that screen or spectate in general? Well, maybe there is an expectation in general, but I wish you could go and enjoy on the screen in there in the spectate mode. That will be pretty nice. Other than that, paddock feels just nice. You can use emotes here and there or just chat around. You can put a sleep mode in case if you're gonna be on AFK in the lobby. That feels just perfectly fine. Overall, I think it just ruins a lot of the experience on the city trails on the boat system. Air Rise, it's not made for 6 players at all. It should have been 8 players. It feels kind of random of these decisions, you know? These decisions of being 8 players on minigames but 6 players on Air Ride, 4 to 8 players on Top Ride. It feels rather very weird. Also, still feels very weird that Grand Prix is only on online paddock, on online lobby. Based on that, I think I'm gonna put this on 3.5. And there you have it. So at the end, we have this being 91% recommendation in my opinion on Kirby Riders, then Mario Kart World on 88%, and Sonic Racing Crossworlds being on 87%. Just here's the thing though. Maybe this looks like very much difference between each other, but this is kind of close. And you can see the difference between each category. Maybe one game is better for gimmicks, maybe other game is better for online content, maybe other games is better for performance and such. This particular file is just to see which category will benefit more on each game. For those who are still deciding which of these racing games will be better to buy it. And based on my experience and based on my perspective, this is my results. Maybe it's not gonna be for everybody. Overall, I think it's completely fair on the base of the points that I have put. Because, let's face it, each of these games has something unique on each of these categories. Either positive or negative. Maybe not all of them can be a fun experience, but hey, these 3 racing games are so much fun. Well, hey, what do you think about this? I want to see your opinions, so I want to see your experience. I want to see your opinions of each category on each game. It has been an interesting idea, but yeah, guys, that's it. Thank you for watching.